Hey everyone, Mango7Roll here. How we doing today? Welcome to another episode of Epic 7, and today we're going to be taking a look at the live stream that we just recently had at 3 a.m. It's so late, and they showed a couple things, not as much as usual. I would rate this way lower than the usual live stream, but I am still excited to share it with you. We're going to go over some questions about the ML5 selector, which, by the way, make sure you are liked and commenting and subscribed, most importantly, and that stupid notification bell. So you get a notification when I put out the video on which one of those you should choose. And we're going to talk about the new ML5 coming out and some other things. So let's just jump right into it here. First off, we have the May balance adjustments. I've already talked about this in depth already in a video. I will link that in the description below if you want to hear my specifics about each of these. But the important note is this is coming tomorrow, and I'm very excited for it. There's actually a lot I'm excited for. This is probably the best balance patch for me since day one. So May Chloe got a massive buff. I can't wait to try her out. I'll have a Guild War video for her tomorrow night, right after the maintenance is over. I'll try to use Cecilia and Flan as well. Both of those got pretty sweet buffs as well. And I will also use Mascot Hazel and Carrot, but those are more likely going to be used for PvE videos later. I won't try Mercedes because I don't have Romola Gorod, and I won't try Axe God because Axe God. But they're probably pretty good, especially Axe God. I think people are really going to enjoy using them. We also have a buff to Melissa's artifact here. I love that art. And I really like this buff to the artifact because it's giving it Vamp Touch, which allows you to kind of life leech back, which means in certain PvE scenarios, you can slap that on the boss and everybody just self-heals from it. I really like that buff. We also have the Senya drop rate continuing until the 30th. And this is how you know this wasn't the biggest patch, because they threw this in here as one of the highlights. The banner we already have. I do recommend pulling for her if you like her design. I personally am super enjoying her, and it was definitely worth it for me. I triple S'd her like a doofus. But if you're really limited on bookmarks, I would probably wait for the collab that is gotta happen sometime, right? Like, it's gotta come sometime. We then have spoiler alerts here. Kawerik and Black Hand of the Goddess specifically. This is here for the whales so they can summon and triple S their ML Kawerik. And speaking of ML Kawerik, let's actually watch the video here.
In this distorted world, I will write new rules. This path.
And during the Twitch stream, people were really pissed about this. I'm actually surprised there's only 42 dislikes right now. I guess you can't see that, but there's only 42 dislikes. Kind of surprised by that because of the hatred people had for this. I'm personally I like his kit. Well, let's finish this, then I'll give opinions. Love his design too.
The fate I choose.
So we're gonna skip into the animation here.
무너진 힘의 균형을 맞추는 역할을 맡게 됩니다. 하지만 대지의 파편이 나타나며 급속도로 시도니아의 균형이 무너지자 그 원인을 찾으려 현자의 숲으로 돌아가고
I love how they show
그곳에서
him with
현자가 된
Koana.
비비안을 다시 만나게 됩니다.
Okay, so important parts here.
주율자 카이
This is actually pretty nice. Let me move my head over here. This is pretty nice because his stats are actually fantastic. He's got 7,300 health, which is on the upper end, and 657 defense, which is on the mid to upper end as well. And he also, for the whales, again, has 27% self-imprint, which is something you're pretty much going to need with him, I think, just because he's going to be so stat hungry and you're going to need his ER as high as possible. Kind of hard to handle that because like the self imprint is so important. As for his skill 3 called Nature Restoration, it is restores balance that has been destroyed, dispelling all debuffs from all allies and granting increased attack and immunity for 2 turns. And this is on a 7-turn cooldown, and people flipped out about this, that it's 7 turns and useless. but they don't really understand how the skill enhance works, because 7 minus 3 is 4. So this is actually a 4-turn cooldown if you have it Molagorod, and you will if you're using him. And the other cool part about this is it's 10 souls to extend the buffs, which is a lot better than 20 and actually makes it usable. And that means you can pretty much have permanent immunity, permanent attack buff, and permanent dispel debuffs if anything happens to break through that immunity. I like this skill 3. It's really good, but it just seems the same as a bunch of other characters, and I'm not super excited about that. So let's go into his skill 2 here. And he's got a skill 2, not a passive. That's a real detriment to a lot of ML5 power. I find ones that don't have a skill 2 that either gives them an extra turn or a passive that's just bonkers tend to be a little less good. And balance of power here attacks the enemy with the mediator's power, decreasing attack for 2 turns and grants a barrier to all allies for 2 turns. Damage and barrier strength proportionate to the caster's max health and the allies' max health. And of course, we have it on a 3-turn cooldown here after Molagora. Pretty decent increases as well. I do really like this ability. Kind of depends on how much damage it does, but I don't think it's going to do much at all. Yeah, it's interesting. And then let's look at his skill 1 here, which is Retribution. Dashes towards the enemy to attack, increasing CR of the ally except for the caster with the highest CR by 10%. Damage dealt increases proportionate to the caster's max health. So this is a 15% CR boost after Molagora here. And yeah, this is an interesting kit. So let's talk about my opinion then, I guess. Twitch's opinion was definitely negative. They were pissed off, but kind of expected, although they're not usually pissed off about ML5s. I feel like this kit is really great, and I would love to use it. I would really enjoy using this character every now and then, but I can't warrant spending mystics on it. There's so many incredibly powerful and super cool mystic units that I just can't spend the resources, especially since I don't have self-imprint. I think if I had like 5 Kawerik sitting around, I would probably pull for him, because I think that's going to be so important to his skill set. So this is really a weird one. A lot of people were saying he was going to be trash, but I think his kit is actually great. I just think it's just like not super amazing and not obviously amazing, if that makes sense. So I'm definitely not going to pull on this, and that's about all I have to say. It's a really tough one because it's such a weird kit. Anyways, let's go back into the slides since we have so much more there to talk about. That was sarcastic. How do I do that again? Let's go. Nope, all the wrong buttons. Yeah, there we go. We did it. So yeah, just going over the slides here. These are all Kawerik stuff. And then we have the Mystic Summon rotation with Shooting Star at Katie's. And then we have the drop rate up with Sigrid. And then we have the drop rate up with Chu. And then we have a side story with Chu, which I'm actually pretty excited for. I really know how Chu, cream, and pastry met. It all started in a small village in the lone tundra. I'm actually stoked for this. And then we have this. So this is Moonlight Connections, and they basically just went over this and clarified some things. This is a video I'm going to put out in the future. Again, make sure you're subscribed for that, because as a new player, this is incredibly important. And as like a veteran, it's even still super important, although you should probably know who you want to take. Although I don't know yet, so... Yeah, so basically they went over a couple question and answer things. Specifically, they said you can change your choice once. So let's say you pick ML Ken and you want to change it to Ruel. You can do that once. It's going to cost you 100,000 gold, but everything will be refunded. You'll have all your Molagora you spent back. All the gear equipped on Ken will go to your bags. All the XP will turn into penguins. Basically, every single thing you spent on Ken will be refunded, and then you can use it on the other character. It's approximately going to take 2 to 4 weeks for new players, and I imagine Old players can finish it in a day or less than a day. Basically, you're going to have to 3-star a bunch of stuff, and then stuff unlocks as it goes. The other thing is the missions are the exact same for all 6, so there's nothing story related, which is kind of sad. I really wish there was some story, but then again, I'd probably be sad that I wouldn't be able to experience the others. And it unlocks immediately after clearing episode 1-10, which is, I believe, the RB stage, right at the start of the game. So basically everybody's going to have this unlocked right away. You also are unable to use it everywhere right at the start. Like, for example, I believe you can't use it in Guild War and Guild War Defense at the start, and restrictions unlock as you go and progress your quest towards getting them 6-star. Yeah, and I think that's about it to talk about them, and that is literally it for this Twitch stream. So by far the least we got in a while, which is surprising considering the Epic 7 things going on. Figured they'd have saved something for this. I mean, I guess they did save Kawerik, but usually we get a little more. I thought we were honestly going to get Ilniav here as a showcase and then have her be out next week, but that doesn't look like the case. I would expect Ilniav the week after is my guess. And yeah, so that's going to be it. Thank you so much for watching. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe as always, and I will talk to y'all later. Bye, everybody.